All right, your nightly gas price update.
Oh, wait, is it a record?
It's up again.
Oh.
Another record, up 50%.
Must be Thursday.
You know what else is up? Airfares,
Everything.
food, furniture, cars, double digits for everything. Our NewsNation poll shows 96% of you, that includes us, are concerned about inflation. Everything costs more. It matters, whether you're at the gas pump or you're at the grocery store. But nowhere else is inflation worse, according to some recent analysis, than in Midland, Texas, where prices have skyrocketed there 10% just in the last year. It's gotten so bad, in fact, that one restaurant in Midland cannot keep menu prices updated, so they're using sticky notes to let people know what it costs now. We want to bring in Mayor of Midland, Patrick Payton.
Brave guy. He's still here after the last interview.
I know. I'll start this one off, and then, Mr. Mayor, good luck with Leland. Why are prices so high there?
Well, it's really a national issue. I mean, one of the good news points is that we've actually had our gas prices go down. They have not gone up as much as the state average in the last 3 weeks, although they're still very, very high. And all over this state and all over this nation, we're all dealing with this. Sometimes in the state of Texas and way out here in West Texas, we have a lot of transportation issues, shipping issues of getting things here because we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere that affect our inflation, affect the prices for us. But also remember, the consumer price index measurements are taken from 20 of the largest MSAs. And then regions like ours are usually estimated, and those can sometimes be off, but not by much. It doesn't mean that we're not suffering out here, but also keep in mind that the most prolific oil and gas producing region of this country and one of the most prolific in the world, our economy is also accelerating very fast with higher than average wages, people moving here to work. So there's a bit of an offset even in the midst of that inflation that's impacting everybody.
We're thinking about Midland, Texas, El Paso, 5 hours and 11 minutes to Midland, then another 5 hours to Dallas. So Midland's in the middle of nowhere, quite literally, and valuable ground that you all have because all the oil that's coming out of the ground. I guess what I'm thinking about for you guys from an inflation standpoint is a microcosm of America where you're seeing prices go up in this way. Is there anything America can learn about how to bring prices down?
Well, it's a huge question, and especially when you relate it to a place like Midland, Texas, and what you started the story with, which is the price of gas, because of what's happened with the climate lobby, because of what's happened in Washington, D.C. with climate hysteria, because of what's happened in Washington, in New York, and in the financial markets, and BlackRock and others who have demonized the oil and gas industry, we've now gotten to this place where you've even heard this phrase, Midland over Moscow. But because the industry has been so punished by the administration, by Washington, D.C., we are having to play catch up, and we can actually be the region that produces more than enough oil and gas that's necessary for this country. But we also need help in building refineries and building infrastructure. So all of those words, I'm beginning to sound like a politician, to just tell you that we have gotten so far behind that we can get caught up, and this region can do that, as well as North Dakota and the Eagle Ford in Southeast Texas. All these things can change, but it has been going backwards for 5 years. Now we're paying the piper, and it's going to be even longer for us to get back to where we need to be.
What's amazing is you're one of the very few politicians who says I sound like a politician. Everyone else denies it. Midland versus Chicago price comparisons. Ground beef, 13% higher in Midland. 18-ounce count large eggs, 15% higher in Midland. 2% milk, a gallon, 23% higher in Midland than it is in Chicago. Can people, and this may be part of the problem that I know you're trying to deal with, how do you get people there to work in the oil and gas industry and begin all this expansion you're talking about when it's so expensive to live there?
Well, the reality is, a great question, and the comparisons are real. We don't have that much of a problem getting people to come here to work because of the wages are so high, because the demand is so high, and we have higher than average wages than almost any measurement across the nation. And so, for instance, you can find someone here in West Texas who just graduated from high school and can go get a CDL license and can be making over $100,000 a year driving a truck. And so, like I said at the beginning, and it's hard for people to see it if they don't live out here, we offset a lot of this inflation and the comparisons to Chicago by the wages that people are earning out here. Now we get behind because things ratchet up, and then we have housing issues, and we're trying to get caught up with housing, which contributes to some inflation pressures. And so other things offset what we're trying to do, but we've been through this cycle before as a region. It's more exacerbated because of what's happening nationally, but we're continuing to see our population grow. And as a matter of fact, we expect our population to continue to grow at a 2% clip just about every year from here till about 2025, 2026, best projections we can find.
Wow.
Well, Midland may be in the middle of nowhere, but a great community in this country. And Mr. Mayor, we appreciate you coming on tonight. The president says it's not like flipping a switch, but there's a lot of people who are putting their heads together trying to figure out a way to help people out who are in dire need of some financial support right now. We appreciate you coming on tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.